श्लोका नंबर 9 है ना। जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेति तत्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नेति मामेति सो अर्जुन। Right, very famous shloka. Often Prabhupada quotes this shloka. So here now see before this Krishna has already told that when does he come, how does he come, and what are the reasons or what are the purposes for which he comes. Now here Krishna is explaining that what one will gain if one understands about the transcendental nature of his appearance and his activities. Right? What one will gain, that is being described here. So it is, Janma karma cha me divyam. My Janma means what? My appearance. No, in terms of Krishna, it's not birth, but it's appearance. And karma means what? Activities. The leelas. Cha me divyam. Divyam means what? Transcendental. Transcendental means not material. है ना? Evam yo veti tatvatah. So Krishna is telling that, Janma karma cha me divyam. My Janma and karma are transcendental. They are not material. है ना? And if somebody understands this, एवं यो वेति, वेति मीन्स टू नो, तत्वतः, तत्वतः मतलब कि है ना, इन रियलिटी, प्रॉपर इज ट्रांसलेटेड एज इन रियलिटी। तत्व, तत्व होता है मतलब कि द ट्रुथ, ट्रुथ इज कॉल्ड एज तत्व। So एवं यो वेति तत्वतः मीन्स व्हाट? इफ somebody knows about the transcendental nature of Krishna's birth and his activities, है ना, in reality, in truth, or basically in conviction, and with full conviction, if one understands that how Krishna's birth, his activities are, है ना, completely transcendental, है ना, one does not simply theoretically understand this, but one fully, you know, one has full conviction, full faith upon this principle, then what will happen to him? Then tyaktava deham punarjanma neti mameti swarjuna, right? Tyaktava deham, right? After giving up this deha, punarjanma, right? Punarjanma na iti, right? One will not have to take punarjanma, one will not have to take na iti mam eti swarjuna, na? Oh Arjuna. So if one understands about this, then he will not have to again take birth in this world. Which means what? He will be liberated. He will come back to me. Right? So this is the main theme of this shloka. So here you see, previous to this now, Krishna was establishing that how I come to reinstate the dharma. I come to again reestablish the principles of religion. So now you see here, now here Krishna is mentioning also that what is the purpose of establishment of that dharma. See, generally, no, for, those people who are in the materialistic conception of life, now which means, those people who are just looking for material enjoyment in this world. So even if they are pious, even if they have faith upon God, so generally what is their understanding of worshipping God, or approaching God? So generally they approach God for what purpose? For the fulfillment of their material desires. So so the people in general who have materialistic desires, what, even if they are approaching God, or what they will want God to do for them, they will just want God, uh, that the God comes in this world and he establishes some proper order in the society so that they can nicely enjoy in this material life. That is what general people of this world will think of, right now. But here Krishna is mentioning that no, I don't come in this world for a fulfillment of the material desires of the people. No, I come here for what purpose? What is the ultimate thing I want by establishment of the dharma? The ultimate thing which I want by the establishment of dharma is what? I want a person to again come back to me, and to not remain in this material world, again taking birth and death. So this is also another important thing, right? So Krishna has told that I established the dharma, but here Krishna is also mentioning that what is the purpose of establishing that dharma? That is to basically help us get out of this material world for all the time to come. So this is also another important aspect, which we understand here. And another thing is about, see, divyam. See this word divyam. Divyam is transcendental. Okay. So see, anything which is not ordinary can be called as divyam. Even if something is heavenly, it can be also called divyam. But here, particularly, divyam is transcendental. Transcendental means out of this, and out of any materialistic conceptions. It is pure. It is completely spiritually pure. And that is what is being told at Divyam. So here you see one important thing is also karma. Right? So Krishna is telling that one who understands that my karma is also divya. Right? Karma means what? Krishna's activities. When Krishna comes in this world, he performs different activities, pastimes, leelas. So those leelas are also transcendental. You see, uh, you know, you see, when Krishna comes in this world, so whatever Krishna performs, whatever pastimes Krishna performs, they're all they are all being performed under his energy called as the Yog Maya. So what is this Yog Maya? One example can be seen for this. Just like suppose there's a drama. So in a drama, you have an actor and you have some hero and there are some other actors also, and then there's a director for the drama, the one who directs, who give directions to the actor and to the hero, what how to act further, what to say further. That is a director. And then there is a script writer, the one who writes the script, that okay, this is how this drama will be there. The actor will speak like this, the hero will do like this, the villain will do like this. That is a script writer. So there are three people. There's a script writer who writes the script of the drama. Then there's a director who actually directs the drama as per the script, and then there are the actors, the heroes, and other people. So you see, similarly, now Krishna, when in terms of Krishna, so the beauty about Krishna is what it see Krishna, no, in case of see, Krishna is the actor or Krishna is the hero. Whenever we see the pastimes of Krishna in this world, so Krishna is the main hero, and there are some other actors also with Krishna. It can be gopis, it can be gopas. And now, who is the director of all this drama which goes on? The director is the Yoga Maya. That is the energy of Krishna. And by the influence of the Yoga Maya, what happens is, even Krishna becomes unconscious about his own position. Right? Krishna will also forget that I am the supreme. Otherwise, there can be no relish in the drama. So Yoga Maya even makes Krishna forget about his position. But then somebody may say that then it means that Yoga Maya is the supreme. Then how Krishna can be supreme? So the thing is that Yogmaya is also not acting independently. The Yogmaya is also working or giving directions as per the script given by Krishna. The original script giver or the script writer is Krishna only. Krishna only has written scripts for all his dramas, and based upon those scripts only the Yogmaya acts, and then Krishna also performs like that. So this is how the things goes in this world. That Krishna performs different leelas. The Yogmaya directs it as per what script Krishna has written. And while doing those pastimes, Krishna is also sometimes not conscious about his position. Sometimes he is not. Just like we are celebrating this Damodar Leela now. So in Damodar Leela, we find, you see, Krishna, Krishna was being chased by Mother Yashoda. So now Krishna is running. Krishna is fearful when Yashoda Maya is catching Krishna. Then he is very fearful. He's crying. And it's not that Krishna is just doing an acting. No, Krishna is really feeling terrified. Krishna is really feeling that, oh, it's a bad luck today. Like that Krishna is feeling. Because if that will not be there, then there will be no joy. There will be no real happiness. There can be no real rasa. So Krishna feels it that way. So that time Krishna himself is also unconscious about his position. That he's simply like a kid. है But in the same pastime, you see later on when Yashoda Maya binds him to the okhal, and then Krishna remembers that Arey, my devotee Narad Muni has given a boon to these two people, so I have to deliver them. So then Krishna goes and delivers those two trees, Nalkuber and Manigriv. So see, the same pastime, in some phase Krishna is forgetting about his identity, and some other time Krishna is remembering his identity. So how it is so? As per the need of the pastime, the Krishna remembers or Krishna forgets. But the beauty about what is the speciality of Krishna's pastime? That although Krishna is the supreme, but still Krishna conceals his identity. Krishna hides his identity so that there can be a great relish in the pastimes. So in the Vrindavan pastimes or the pastimes of Krishna with Vrajvasis, so what the Yogmaya does is Yogmaya covers the knowledge of the Vrajvasis. So Vrajvasis, they are not conscious that Krishna is the supreme, or they are conscious, but they don't act as per that consciousness. So even when Mother Yashoda is seeing the mouth of Krishna, then Yashoda Mai is thinking that Arey, I think my Kana is having some disease. Let me just try to cure it. Or she prays to Lord Vishnu that, oh Lord Vishnu, please kindly protect my Kana. So their spontaneous love for Krishna is so overpowering that there's no Bhagavatta. They have no remembrance of Bhagavatta, that Krishna's supremacy. That goes in the background. That's how it works. So that's the beauty. See, so here that's the speciality of Krishna's activities, that Krishna purposefully conceals his supremacy so that there can be a very great rasa, there can be a great that there can be a greater relish in the pastimes of Krishna. That's the beauty of Krishna. But see, when we are understanding those pastimes, it is very important for us to understand the position of Krishna. Just like suppose, suppose a set of the boys are playing. Let us say some slum boys are there and they are playing together. And in those slum boys, you get to see that there's one boy who is very nicely dressed up. He's looking very, very good, and he's also playing with all of them. And then you are curious to know that, "Arey, who is this nice, gently dressed boy amongst all of them?" And then you go and find it out, and you get to know that, "Arey, he's a son of prime minister. He's the son of the prime minister. Still, he's playing with those slum boys and he's trying to help those slum boys." So once you understand the position of that boy, then you can appreciate what he's doing. How, in spite of being the son of prime minister, he's playing with those slum boys. The same way, if we know the supremacy of the person, then we can appreciate his leelas. So that's what Krishna is telling, that how we have to understand. See, that's the nature of Krishna, that he loves his devotees so much. He loves to be controlled by the devotee. He loves, he just want to be with his devotees. He just want to have a reciprocation of love with the devotees in a very spontaneous manner. That's why he even hides his own position. But we have to understand that he is not ordinary boy. He's a supreme personality of Godhead, the controller of all the creation that way. So that's the divine nature of Krishna's activities, Krishna's karma. That they are very transcendental. And Krishna very much loves the devotees. So that is also another important thing. And see, another thing is this, evam yo veti tatvata. Tatvata means what? In truth. If somebody knows it in truth, or in other words, if somebody knows it with firm conviction. So see, no, see, knowing is one thing, and having firm conviction is other thing. So what Krishna is mentioning here is that if somebody understands this in truth and with firm conviction, that how I am not ordinary, my activities are not ordinary, my appearance is not ordinary, right? If somebody has firm conviction upon this, then what will happen? Then obviously, see, suppose if you have full conviction that Krishna is divine, Krishna's abode is divine, Krishna is divine personality, then what will happen? Naturally, you will want to send it to Krishna, because Krishna is having so much love for the devotees. Krishna is concealing his own position. Krishna is not like a master who just want to boss over the other people. So naturally, if one understands about Krishna's nature, Krishna's divinity, then he will want to surrender to Krishna fully. And for such a person, who has understood or who has firm conviction upon Krishna, then what will happen? He will perform naturally. He will perform Krishna's bhakti very seriously, and then he will not have to come back again into this material world. Taktva deham punah janma neti mamit. Right? So one will not have to come back again in this material world. That's what Krishna is telling here. So that is another thing. That's tatvata, right? Knowing with firm conviction. So now let us see some part of the purports. Now I explained many of these things to all of you. So this purport, see, purport Prabhupada is mentioning some main points. Yeah, one of you can read the big below part. Anyone, quickly.
In the Brahma Samhita 5.3, it is stated that the Lord has many, many forms and incarnations. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadi, and Antarupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of the Lord, they are still one and the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. One has to understand that this fact that with conviction, although it
Hmm.
is comprehensible, incomprehensible to mundane scholars and empiric philosophers.
So Krishna comes in different dimensions. So before that, Krishna told, "Na yada yada dharmasya glani bhakti abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sajamyam." I come again. So the thing is that how it is the same Krishna who comes in different avatars. So one has to, again, Prabhupada is mentioning, see, one has to understand this fact with conviction, right? Tatvata means conviction. It again, read this from the Upanishad.
एको देव नित्य लीलानुकर्तो भक्ता व्यापी हृदय अंतर आत्मा. The one Supreme Personality of God is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with His unalloyed devotee.
So that is being, Eko Deva, right? The same Lord is doing different leelas with his different devotees. Okay, go ahead.
The Vedic version Tat Tvam Asi is actually applied in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the Supreme or who says unto the Lord, "You are the same Supreme Brahman," the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of the Lord is guaranteed.
Okay, so देखो, जो जो हमारा, इट इज वन ऑफ द वैदिक एफॉर्मिज्म्स, लाइक यू ना, जन्मादि अस्य यतः or jivasya tattva jigyasa, right? So these are all, like, they are part of the Vedic scriptures. So like that, one more is there, tat tvam asi, right? Tat tvam asi. So what is the meaning of this? See, those who are Mayavadis, what do they infer from this? Tat tvam asi means what? So when they see Krishna or Lord Ram, they say that, tat tvam asi, right? Tat means this Rama or this Krishna is, tvam means you. You are the same Rama and Krishna. That's the Mayavad philosophy. That all of us are the supreme Brahman. All of us are the supreme Brahman. So they interpret in this particular manner, that how all this Rama, Krishna, they are all of us are same. We are the same supreme Brahman. But the real interpretation is what? Tat Tvamasi, right? Tat refers to what? Krishna, or the different incarnations. So these all different incarnations, or the Lord, his Tat means all this. Tvamasi, Tvam is for Krishna. All these different avatars, they are all avatars of Krishna only. So that is the real meaning of this Tattvamasi, means what? The different avatars are basically, they are all originating from Krishna only. It's not that we all are also same supreme Brahman like Krishna. Not like that, huh? Go ahead. See, so another thing is told, spoken in the Upanishad. Tam eva vidit vati mityum eti nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve this perfection. So the same thing as spoken in the shloka is told here, again in the Upanishad also. Right? Tam eva viditvati. Right? One who understands you, mrityum eti, right? Then he can get liberated from the mrityu. And nanya pantha vidyate, right? There's no other way. There's no other way to get rid of this cycle of birth and death, and to achieve the perfection apart from this. So it's the same thing. There's no alternative, that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as the Supreme is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not have salvation. This is Prabhupada is mentioning a point that, if somebody does not understand Krishna, then, that is meaningless. Some empiric philosophers may assume very important roles in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberation. Such perfect mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness. Again, Prabhupada is Tattvata. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with faith and knowledge, and in this way attain perfection. So, right? So Krishna is also urging that, try to understand me with what? Tattvata. Tattvata means with faith and with knowledge. Right? Try to understand. So if we want to have perfection in our Krishna consciousness, then we have to have this thing in our life. Right? Ramanujacharya, Vishwashakar Thakur has quoted this commentary of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya says, destroying all the sins which are unfavorable for surrender to me by true knowledge of my spiritual birth and activities, taking shelter of me in this life in the prescribed way, that person who holds me alone as dear, constantly thinking of me, attains me. So he's also giving, he's also mentioning about the same, right? So what is the meaning of Tekhe Tattvata? जो मैंने बताया ना, Tattvata means if he will understand, then he will take shelter of Krishna. So Ramanujacharya is confirming this. That one who understands about Krishna, then what he will do? He will take shelter of me in this life in the prescribed way, right? He will do sadhana bhakti, and that person who holds me alone, so the thing is, he will perform bhakti of Krishna. That's the point. If somebody will know, just knowing but not doing anything does not make any sense, right? If you understand, then you will follow. That's the point, and then that will perfection will open for you. So now this is what Krishna told in this verse about that. Now next shloka, Krishna is going to mention about what is that. Acha, one more important thing. So see, Krishna has told that one who knows this tattvataha, right? So there's another verse where Krishna tells this in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells that who can understand him tattvata. 18th chapter, 55th shloka. If you see, Krishna is mentioning about who can understand him tattvataha. Right? Very famous shloka. All of us know it. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. See, भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति यावान यश्चस्मि तत्त्वतः ततो माम तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तद अनंतरम. Right? So Krishna is telling that, see, again the same word has come tattvata here also. So see, who can understand Krishna in truth or in with conviction? Bhaktaya mam abhijanati yavan yascha asmi tatvatah tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. See, one can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, right? Bhaktaya. केवल भक्ति से ही मुझे तत्वतः जाना जा सकता है, अभिजानाति, आई कैन बी नोन इन ट्रूथ, इन कंप्लीट, है ना, देयर कैन बी कंप्लीट नॉलेज अबाउट मी ओनली बाय भक्ति. एंड व्हाट विल हैपन बाय सच भक्ति? एंड व्हेन वन अंडरस्टैंड्स, or when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God, right? If somebody will understand me tatvata, then he will come back to me, right? The same thing which is being spoken. So here Krishna is mentioning about the process by which one can know Krishna, the tatvata. So moving forward now, so now next shloka, Krishna is now mentioning that, okay, now what are the obstacles which will come, which are, what are the obstacles in understanding Krishna tatvata, right? What are the obstacles, So why people are not able to understand Krishna Tatvata, right? So there are three very important reasons. All the different philosophies which we see around, है ना, about, self-realization, you'll find that all those things falls into these three categories. That's the beauty about the Vedic literatures. Everything is very precise. Just like, Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, right? No other three categorization is sufficient. And similarly, recently we are hearing, so see, all the living beings on the Earth planet, they can be also categorized into three categories, right? First category is what? Those people who take, in whose system the food goes from up to down. Like we as a human beings, we take food and then it goes down. So our digestive system is upward to downward. Then there is second being is what? Whose digestive system is horizontal, right? Like, like you have dog, you have cow, so their digestive system is horizontal. You have fishes, and the third thing is, in those cases, where the food goes from down to up, like all the vegetation, all the plants and trees, will find they fall into that category, that the food goes from down to up. So all the living beings can be categorized into this case. That's the beauty, so that's the beauty of Vedic. Otherwise, biologically you try to, find out so many classifications based upon different factors, right? But if you follow Vedic things, it is very simple. So here Krishna is mentioning now three main factors why people are not able to understand him tatvata. Very important shloka of this Gita. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashrita bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agatah. Right? So Vita means what? Being freed. Yeah. फ्री होकर तीन चीजें बताई गई हैं, राग, भय एंड क्रोध, राइट? वन हु बिकम्स फ्री फ्रॉम द राग, भय एंड क्रोध, राइट? राग मीन्स व्हाट? अटैचमेंट, अनुराग, राग. राग मीन्स अटैचमेंट. अटैचमेंट इन द सेंस material attachments, attachment for enjoyment in the material world, right? Bhaya means what? Fear. Fear of what we'll discuss. And krodha means what? Anger. So one who is free from these three things, the attachment, the fear, and the anger. And manmaya mamupashrita. And after becoming free from this, what happens? If somebody, he meditates upon me, manmaya, he meditates upon me, and mamupashrita, one becomes situated in me, one takes ashraya of me, one takes shelter of me, है then one takes shelter of me, right? Being freed from the attachment, fear, and anger, and being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, है. So one who becomes free from this and who becomes absorbed, whose mind becomes absorbed in Krishna and who takes shelter of Krishna. And what has happened? Bahavo Gyan Tapsa. Right? Many people, right? Bahavo means many people. Puta Mad Bhavam Agata, right? So, Gyan Tapsa, right? Many people have done this Gyan Tapasa. Many people have done this tapasya of the Jnana, of cultivation of this knowledge. Right? So, see, cultivation of knowledge is also tapasya, right? Like we are doing this, what we are having is a jnana tapsa. We are trying to have a cultivation of knowledge, and it requires tapasya, being so early in the morning, getting up, and then sitting in front of the laptop, etc., etc. It's a tapasya. So Bahava means many people have done this tapasya of cultivation of jnana, and by that, what has happened to them? They became puta. Puta means they have become purified, and mad bhavam agata, and they were able to attain love for me. Mad bhav means na love ना, मेरे लिए भाव. भगवान बोले कि मेरे लिए भाव, ना, they were able to attain भाव for me. तब पे भगवान बता रहे हैं कि है ना, what are the obstacles for one to be able to understand Krishna tatvata, and how those who are able to give up these obstacles, how they were able to attain love for Krishna. So these are the translation, being freed from the attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Okay. So now let us understand what is this Rag, Bhaya, and Krodha, right? So these are the three main categories in which you will find all kinds of philosophies. Most of the all the philosophies about self-realization. So let us discuss it one by one. Okay. See, this is from the purport. See the beginning part of the purport. It is very difficult for a person who is too materially affected to understand the personal nature of the supreme absolute truth. तो देखिए पहला बताया गया कि राग मीन्स फॉर अटैचमेंट राइट so most of the people in this world we find that their only interest is to enjoy in this material world. They just want to have material enjoyment in their life, and if they're able to enjoy in this material world, then they don't feel the need of God also, right? So because they have attachment for material enjoyment, right? So many people don't feel the need of God. Right? People will not fulfill. Like we try to preach to many of the young people, right? One who is having good pointers, who is having good prospects for placements and all, we find they don't show much interest, right? Because they don't feel the need that why I should get into all these things. I'm happy and I'm getting good marks, I'm getting good grades, I may get a good job, good money, right? I don't have any need because their only domain is material enjoyment, right? This is one category, okay? Or there can be some other people who are pious, who believe upon the God, but again, they may be approaching the God, but for what purpose? Again, to help, to get help in their material enjoyment, right? So they may approach the God also, but they want what? They want material enjoyment. That, oh God, please kindly give me this, give me that. So, so this is the first category, that those people who are attached to material enjoyment. So because of that, what happens? Even if they are approaching the God, they're not going. They will not have what? They will not be able to have meditation upon the Lord. They will not have manmaya. They will not be able to think about the Lord, and they will be not able to take shelter of the Lord. Why? Because they have different interests. They have material interest. This is the first category, right? Basically, the materialistic people, those who are attached to the material enjoyment. Okay. Now, second category is about the bhaya. Okay, so let us just discuss what is this bhaya. You see, what is this bhaya? Bhaya means fear. And what is the meaning of fear? See, Anna. So see, we have a category of the impersonalist. Okay, so the impersonalists are who? Impersonalists or the Mayavadis, they are who people? Now, they believe that how there is an impersonal, the perfection of life is having, or let us say the supreme is impersonal. Yeah. Nirakar, Nirvishesh. The supreme goal of life is to be able to attain Brahma Jyoti and to merge into the Brahma Jyoti where you can have just Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So that is second category. So you'll find they are having bhaya. What is the meaning of bhaya? They are having fear. That is, what is the fear? There is, they have a fear of, they are having a fear of personal identity. Uh, so why they have that kind of fear of the personal identity? Because see what happens is in this world we find that we are having personal, we are personalities, we have our personal bodies. So what is there, because we have a material body, we find that because of the material body we find we have birth, old age, disease and death, adhyatmic, adhibautic, adhyatmic miseries. So we have a miserable existence. This is the first thing. And second thing is, in this world we have experienced that because we are personal, we try to strike relationship with other people, and in those relationships what happens is we find that there's never satisfaction, rather there's a dissatisfaction. It leads to frustration. All kinds of relationships, material relationships in this world, no. So so because of this experience of the material life, where because of the material body we find that we have all different kinds of miseries, and because of the material relationship with other people we find there's a frustration. So because of this material experience which people have, now when they are being told that how even after liberation our existence is personal, and again after liberation again you are going to be a person with other people and with God, and there is going to be reciprocation of love, there's going to be relationship with God, there's going to be relationship with other people. So it does not fit into the minds. No, one is not able to digest this thing, because why one is not able to digest? Because this material conception is so powerfully embedded in his mind, that how, whenever you speak about personal, it means material existence. So they are not able to give up. They're not able to understand that how there can be an existence where which is free from all these difficulties. Now there can be an existence where now we need not to be, where we need not to be impersonal. There can be personal, and which is free from all these difficulties of the body and the difficulties of these material relationships. So ये चीज समझ में नहीं आ पाती है, व्यक्ति के दिमाग में बैठ नहीं पाता. वन इज हैविंग ग्रेट फियर कि अरे नहीं, आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस इन दिस वर्ल्ड दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पर्सनल बॉडी आई एम हैविंग सो मच सफरिंग, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ relationships I'm feeling so much suffering. So even after liberation, even after mukti, I will again have personal existence. No, so they don't want to accept that. Why? Because of the fear. That fear is born because of the strong material conception which they are having in their minds. तो इसमें क्या क्या फिट होंगे, जो भी सारे impersonalist लोग हैं, जो भी सारे मायावादी लोग हैं, वो सब इस कैटेगरी में फिट हो जाएंगे. So they are having this bhaya. Okay, so they also will not be able to understand Krishna in tatvata, right? So they cannot also understand the personal aspect of Krishna. ना, they cannot accept that. Like impersonalism में दो कैटेगरी होती है. एक होती है जो है ना, मानती है कि जो सुप्रीम है उसका एक पर्सनल फॉर्म भी है, राम कृष्ण ये सब पर्सनल भी है, जो सुप्रीम ब्रह्मन है उसका पर्सनल एस्पेक्ट भी है ना, दे आर ऑल्सो दिव्य. बट स्टिल दे फाइंड दैट द हाईएस्ट इज सुप्रीम ब्रह्मन, है ना, उसी में जाना बेस्ट है. एंड मायावादी वे, दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट, दे थिंक दैट एवरीथिंग इज माया, इवन राम कृष्ण दे आर आल्सो माया. And ultimately all of us are impersonal brahman, we are all part of the impersonal brahman. So now say these people, because they're having frustration born out of the relationships, so they just want to have such kind of existence जहाँ पे just shanti shanti shanti. There's no concept of relationship, there's no concept of personality, and you can just relax there, with shanti shanti shanti. Okay, so that's because of the bhaya. So the same thing is being explained here by Prabhupada. Right? Now you can understand this. Please read it.
Generally, the people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge, and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance, and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such materialistic men, the form of the gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the supreme to be impersonal, and because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personality after liberation from matter frightens them. When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again, and so they naturally prefer a kind of merging into an impersonal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubbles of the ocean, which merge into the ocean. That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence attainable without individual personality. This is a kind of fearful stage of life, devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence.
So here, see what we discussed now. So what is the problem with them? No, they cannot even imagine. They cannot even imagine that there can be a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge, and eternally blissful. Right? Satchidananda. Right? Because in the material concept, what we have is our body is perishable, achit, asat, achit, and nirananda. This is what our material body is all about. It is imperishable. It is perishable, which means what? It is asat. It is full of ignorance, which means it is achit, and it is nirananda. It is miserable. What happens is, so again, the same thing, right? So when people are not able to understand that there can be a spiritual existence free from all these difficulties of life, and that's why they're very much afraid. They don't want to have that concept again, that again getting a body. In this world we have a miserable experience with the body, and miserable experience with the relationships, material relationships of this world. So even after liberation, again material body, again such kind of relationships. No, 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 I don't want all these things. I just want what? Shanti, shanti, shanti. Right? Om Shanti Shanti, right? That is what. So this was the second thing, okay? And the third thing is what? Third thing was about the Krodha. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha. So now see, what is this Krodha? Krodha means anger. What is this anger? This anger is coming from the frustration of understanding the God. So like say there are many people who want to understand about God, and then they try to, they try to meet with different people and try to understand the different philosophies, and they find that how different philosophies, they also make sense, but then there are some things which does not make sense. So they try one philosophy, then they find some defects with one philosophy, then they try other philosophy, they find some defects with some other philosophy, third philosophy, some defect with third philosophy. So like that, by seeing different philosophies, and what has happened is, they have become confused, and then they think that, let us give up this whole idea. That this whole idea is, everything is very ambiguous. Let us give up the whole idea. Let us just simply understand that everything becomes void. know, after the and after the death, everything can become void. So they think that everything is just coming from the void. No, there's nothing. Everything is शून्य, शून्यवाद जिसको बोलते हैं, right ना, because सब कुछ उन्होंने देखा, but सब में उनको कुछ क्या proper satisfaction नहीं मिलता है. Then what happens is they end up कि चलो ठीक है, everything is void. There's nothing, there's no God, there's nothing. Everything is just ultimately coming from zero. Everything is void. After we die, the material elements will merge into the earth, and we all will become zero. This is called as the Krodha. This is called as the Krodha, right? So like the Buddhist philosophy which is there, right? It's coming from Krodha, right? Because they believe upon what? Voidism, Nirvana. This is the third thing, na? So see, please read this.
Being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradictions of various types of philosophical speculation, they become disgusted or angry and foolishly conclude that there is no supreme cause and that everything is ultimately void.
Right. Just like sometimes if you have some disease, let us say, right? Like stomach, suppose some digestion is disturbed, let us say, right? So then you try one doctor. You first tried for Ayurveda, didn't work. Then you went to another Ayurvedic doctor, didn't work. Then you went to homeopathy. Somebody told that, try this homeopathy, it can work for you. You tried with homeopathy, didn't work. Then somebody told that, okay, try for allopathy. You tried it, didn't work. Then it told, try to go for naturopathy. You went for it, didn't work. So what happens, a person tries different therapy, pathies, and then after some time, person will think that, "Arey, nothing will work for me." Even if you will suggest that, "Nee, this thing will surely work for you." No, no, no. And I have bitter experience of everything. And all these pathies are all bogus. There's no point in doing that thing. One may feel like that, right? No? So it's not like one has to reject everything. No, one has to try, and one may gain some good things from them, and ultimately one should try to come to the best part, not that you just reject everything, and because it didn't work for you. There can be some good thing in everything, that's all. But these people are those people who are having frustration. So see, further Prabhupada writes, please read the last class.
This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their affective hallucinations are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision. One has to get rid of all three stages of material consciousness, attachment to material.
See, another thing again. So see, such kind of people who don't believe upon anything, everything is शून्य, right? सब कुछ भी नहीं है, सब कुछ शून्य से आ रहा है. तो अभी देखिए फिर क्या है, because they just lead a materialistic life. Like if you see Buddhism and all, in one way they're like very materialistic life only, because you have no conception of God, you have no conception of soul, and you're just thinking everything is matter. So in this world, we are having uncontrolled senses. So one just want to enjoy. So one will enjoy drugs, one will enjoy smoking, drinking, and will say nothing. There's nothing. Everything is. If you don't have any special goal, then only thing left with for you is sense gratification. That's what had happens. They take shelter to some kind of intoxication, and their affective hallucinations are sometimes accepted as spiritual, right? Or you look क्या करते हैं, like, for example, like when Prabhupada went, so then some people were taking LSDs, they were taking drugs and all, and they were thinking that maybe by taking these things we can come to some different state of existence. So one hippie came and told, oh, Swamiji, and when I took LSD, I found myself, floating in the sky and all these things. Prabhupada told it is all bogus. Stop taking it. It is all your dreams. What happens is such kind of people, they just try to imagine different things. No, they're not following any proper philosophy. They just try to imagine different things, and they think that maybe they are what is the spiritual experience. That's what happens with them. Go ahead. One has to.
One has to get rid of all three stages of material consciousness: attachment to material life, fear of a spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void that arises from frustration in life. To get free from these three stages of the material concept of life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional life.
So these are the three things, right? What is raga? Raga means attachment to the material life. What is bhaya? Fear of spiritual personal identity, right? Personal identity, right? Spiritually also we have a personal identity, uska fear hona. And the third thing is what? Bhaya. Uh, uh, with krodha. The conception of void. Void means everything is nothing. Everything is zero. The conception of void that arises from frustration in the life. So So how can one become freed from all these misconceptions of life? That can only happen if one takes shelter of the Lord, a bona fide representative of the Lord, a bona fide spiritual master, and if one follows also the regulative principles, right? Both things are important. One has to be guided by the Guru, and one has to also follow the different regulations. Then one can eventually get rid of all these misconceptions. So even being as a devotee, also we may also have these misconceptions in all of us, because they are very deeply rooted in all of us. So, but they will get erased if we follow the guidance of the bona fide guru and follow the procedure, right? And then see, Krishna was telling that how, you know, so see, Vit Raga Bhaya Krodha, and so when one is freed, then one is freed, and one meditates upon me, and one takes shelter of me, and like this, many people have done it previously. Then many people have done this tapasya of ज्ञान, right? तो देखिए ये सब करने के लिए, इस सब misconceptions को हटाने के लिए, जो ये राग भय क्रोध वाले जो misconceptions हैं, इसको हटाने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? ज्ञान तपसा करना पड़ेगा, which means what? We'll have to do the austerity of cultivating the knowledge, right? So see, so when we are trying to cultivate knowledge, then what happens? It's a tapasya, because we hear some philosophies. We have to become freed from the misconceptions which we were carrying earlier. No, we may have very firm faith upon some misconceptions which we may be carrying earlier, but we have to give up them. It's an austerity for us, right? And also hearing from the authorities also, it may be an austerity for us, like that. So इसके बारे में बताते हैं. I think that was spoken by. See, here it is there. Ramanujacharya says about this. Please read this. Yeah, I will read. Okay. See, here it says, they have attained realization of the eternal nature of my birth and activities, became purified by the austerity in the form of what? So what is the austerity involved for tolerating the burning poison of the wrong ideas, wrong logic, and the wrong arguments, right? So like many of us, or many, one may be carrying all this, one may have some many wrong notions, wrong ideas, some wrong logics, some wrong arguments, but one has to do what? One has to do the tapasya of giving up all those things, no, and coming and taking to the new ideas. That is what is being spoken, right? So those who are ready to this gyan tapsa, so what will happen to them? They will become puta, they will become purified, and they will be able to attain mad bhavam, right? Mad bhavam means they will be able to attain bhava. Bhava means love for me. So Prabhupada is now elaborating about bhava, that how there are 9 stages of the bhakti: Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, right? Step by step, and how, and follows, if somebody follows the process of the bhakti, then eventually one can attain bhava and prema. Prabhupada is mentioning about this. Okay. So I think one more verse, let us try to, एक वर्ष और शायद करने का हो पाएगा, है ना? कुछ क्वेश्चन आया है क्या? नहीं. Let us see if we can complete 1 or 2 more verses. No, one more at least. No? So now see next shloka, है ना? Now next shloka, Krishna has told that if somebody can become free from these ideas and can take to Gyan Tapsa, then he can attain me, he can get love for me. But now see, now comes the next section. 11th shloka is the next section, where Krishna is now going to tell that how not everyone will be able to take to the same path of directly taking Krishna, directly accepting Krishna as divine, and accepting his teachings and surrendering to him. So not everyone will be able to directly accept him. So that's why there are some indirect ways by which people will take to this. So there are some other indirect paths. So those paths Krishna is now going to describe it, how there are some other different paths, and how ultimately Krishna is the one who is the rewarder of the results of all those paths, and he is the ultimate goal of all those paths. This is going to be the next section from 11 to 15. That how Krishna is the one who has made different paths, and he is the one who rewards the results in those different paths, and ultimately he is the ultimate goal for those paths, right? So we know those, what are those paths? They're the path of karma, they're the path of jnana, they're the path of yoga, and they're the path of bhakti. So all these different paths are there. So Krishna is now going to describe about them. So the first shloka, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashah. So Sri Krishna is telling, no, ye yatha mam prapadyante, right? As one comes to me, prapadyante means surrender, as one surrenders unto me, tam tatheva bhajamyaham, right? I reward them accordingly, right? So as one comes to me, or as one surrenders to me, I also give them rewards accordingly. And mam vartamanu vartante. Anuvartante means follow. Mam means my. Vartama means path. right? So mam vartamano vartante, right? Everyone is following my path. Everyone is following my path, sarvashah, in all the respects. Everyone is following my path in all the respects. So this is what Krishna is saying, that how as one will come surrender to me, I will reward him accordingly, and ultimately everyone is going to follow my path in all the respects. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? We'll learn. So let us first just take. Let us first see the first two lines. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sa tatheva bhajami, right? So the first two lines are showing that how Krishna is not a stone. Stone means what? He will have same feeling for everyone. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is Krishna is not Krishna is not equal. Yeah, can we say that Krishna is equal towards everyone, or Krishna is partial towards someone? No, neither Krishna is equal, neither Krishna is partial. The most appropriate word for Krishna is reciprocal, which means what? Krishna will Krishna will reciprocate as one approaches to Krishna. Right? If you approach him with a favorable mood, Krishna will also reciprocate with you in a favorable mood. So like that. So the most appropriate word is Krishna is reciprocal, which means he will behave as one will approach Krishna. See here now one important thing. So Krishna is saying, "Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam satya bhajamyaham." Right? So see the thing is how इससे पहले कृष्ण ने बताया कि that my activities, my birth are divine, and one who understands this, he will come back to me. He will not have to come back into this material world. So now again, so ye yathamam prapadyam means what? If somebody will, if somebody will accept that yes, Krishna's birth, his activities are transcendental, then what will happen? Then their life will also become transcendental, which means what? They will start practicing bhakti, they will start performing the yoga, so their life will also become transcendental. So if somebody will accept Krishna as transcendental, then his life will also become transcendental. And if somebody will simply see Krishna as an ordinary person, as a material person, as a big politician or a king, then what will happen? Then their life is also going to remain only material. Then they will also simply try to enjoy this material world, material life. So this is one aspect of this first two lines, that how if somebody will see Krishna transcendentally, then his life will also become transcendental. If somebody will see Krishna with material consciousness, then his life will remain material. He will just remain after the material goals. Okay, so this is one important aspect. And then second thing was how है ना मम वर्तमानु वर्तन्ते मनुष्य पार्थ सर्वस्वसी. So यहाँ पे क्या बता रहे हैं भगवान की everyone is following my path in all the respects. से यहाँ पे जो मायावादी हैं इम्पल्सिव है, वो लोग कई बार इस लाइन को बहुत यूज करते हैं, और वो इसको इस सेंस में यूज करते हैं कि that how ultimately all the paths are leading to me. But see very clearly Krishna is saying that no, that all paths are not leading to me. Krishna is saying that everyone is following my path. So see previous studies we discussed that how the Krishna, why Krishna is now speaking these verses, because not everyone will take to not everyone will take to worship of Krishna directly. So then that's why Krishna has created some indirect paths, by following which one can also eventually come to him. But it's not that ultimately everything will take to Krishna. No, that's not the case. The Krishna has made different paths so that people can follow them, and eventually they will have to come to. Eventually they can come to Krishna. But it's not that that all the paths will lead to the same goal. Let you follow any of the paths. No, you follow. You be a materialistic, or you be a jnani, or you be a karma kandi, or you be a yogi, or you be a bhakta. All of you are going to go to the spiritual world. That's not the case. All different paths are there. If you'll follow them, you will get different rewards for them. But ultimately they're all created by Krishna for one to uplift you. They will uplift you surely, but not that they will directly take you to Krishna immediately. There's a direct way to go to Krishna, and then there are other indirect ways by which you can go to Krishna. But not that all the paths are leading to the same. It's not that by following everything you will come to Krishna only. That's not the case. So this is another thing about this. We see now. Let us see the Baldev Vidyabhushan says, "See, I respond to the persons according to the manner and the mood in which they surrendered to me." So Krishna reciprocates as per the manner and the mood, right? किस mood में हम भगवान को approach करते हैं उसके हिसाब से करते हैं. All blessed men follow these various paths of worship of me, the one Lord, O son of Pritha. Okay, so now let us see the purport and things will become more clear. So I will take 3-4 more minutes to complete this purport. Please. So see, I think I can only explain. See, so everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestation, right? So we know that how there are yogis, there are jnanis, right? So the yogis are they are looking for Paramatma, or they are looking for the mystic powers. See, what is the meaning that how different people are ultimately looking for Krishna only, or different aspects of Krishna. Right? So see, we have these categories, right? Prabhupada will explain them. I think I can explain here only. Prabhupada is explaining here. You see, right? So see, basically, so first thing is, like you have karma kandis. So karma kandis is, they are looking for what? They are looking for material enjoyment. Ultimately, they're also looking for, happiness. So they're looking for material enjoyment, right? So Krishna is the one who has created for them the facility of doing the yajna, karma kanda, by which they can get the material enjoyment in their life, right? Then you are having jnanis. So now jnanis, what do they desire? They desire to live, to merge into the impersonal Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. So Krishna only rewards them, right? If they are attached to getting impersonal Brahma Jyoti, then Krishna only rewards them with that impersonal Brahma Jyoti. If they follow the path of the jnana, then they are able to land up to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Now, Mayavadis, they don't land up anywhere. They remain in this material world only, because they have misconception about Krishna. And then there are yogis. What do they desire? They are desiring mystic powers, or they may desire to have a darshan of Paramatma. So if they are desiring mystic powers, then Krishna awards them the mystic powers. If they desire Paramatma darshan, then Krishna awards them the darshan of the Paramatma. And apart from this, if you talk about the devotees, what do the devotees desire? Devotees desire to render service to Krishna personally. So then Krishna gives them the facility to serve him in the different dasas, Shantrat, Vasaliras, Dasiras. So those are pure devotees in this world as well as in the spiritual world. In the both places, the pure devotees, they desire to serve Krishna in different manners, and Krishna gives them the opportunities to do it, to do that in different ways. So this is the meaning that how ultimately everyone is following Krishna's path, and they are getting different rewards by Krishna only. They are following the different manifestation of Krishna, right? Ultimately, everyone is looking for Krishna in their life. Prabhupada explains it at how there is a fire and there is a spark. Oh, so the different opulences which you are seeing, the different sparks which you are seeing, ultimately they are also originating from the original fire only. That is Krishna only. But now one may say that, suppose, okay, if somebody is becoming attracted to some opposite sex in this world, so one may say that, "Arey, ultimately, now I am becoming attracted to opposite sex because it is a spark of Krishna." Yes, it is a spark of Krishna. But the thing is that we are not seeing it in relationship with Krishna. Even though it is connected with Krishna, but we see it different from Krishna. And that is not taking us to Krishna. So we have to see that whether the thing, although it is connected with Krishna, but is it taking us towards Krishna? Like, like when Mayavadi told that how even if somebody is drinking, he can have experience of Brahman, because ultimately everything is Brahman. So even the liquor is also Brahman, right? Brahman means the energy of Krishna. So yes, Prabhupada told that yes, it is also Brahman. But is it taking you towards Brahman? Is it taking you towards God? If somebody is drinking, is he able to, is he able to have a relationship with the Lord? That is not happening. It is deviating him from that. That's the point. So there are different manifestations. Everything ultimately is a manifestation of Krishna. Right? So those who want material enjoyment, they are trying to enjoy the material things of this world. That is also manifestation of Krishna's, only Krishna's energies. But by going for it, it's not that they're going to take one towards Krishna. Rather, people will become more distracted from Krishna. So in one way, in one way, everyone is following different paths given by Krishna only, but they are not going to lead to the same goal, huh? That's the main thing here. It's not that everything is going to lead to the same goal. So they are the different indirect paths, right? Ultimately, one has to take to the bhakti of Krishna, and then he can come to this path. So Prabhupada is mentioning towards the end, see how akam sarva kamo va moksha kamo daradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So whether one is without desire, or is desirous of all the fruitive desires, or is after liberation, one should with all the efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So see, the point is how different people are attracted to the different manifestation of Krishna, right? Like somebody is running after the material enjoyment, somebody is going for siddhis, now somebody is going for Brahma Jyoti, right? So ultimately, everyone is looking for different aspects of Krishna only. So, so it is told that how now everyone has to understand that ultimately they're all manifestations of Krishna only. So why instead of approaching Krishna indirectly, better is one can just directly approach Krishna only. How one should approach Krishna? By the means of Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. If somebody will do Tivra Bhakti, and with Tivra Bhakti, with intense Bhakti, if somebody will approach Krishna, then he can get the best results. He can get the best results. Now, that's what Krishna is completing this. See, Shri Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is mentioning about this towards the end. Not only the devotees surrendered to me, but rather everyone, Sarvashaha, all men, who all? Jnanis, Karmis, Yogis, and the worshippers of the Devtas. They also follow my path. They surrender either directly or indirectly. Jnana, karma, and the other processes are my path, since I am the essence of all those paths. Right? So ultimately, all those paths are also given by Krishna. So that is the meaning of this particular shloka, that Krishna is mentioning that how ultimately everyone is following him. But without understanding that Krishna is the ultimate whole. So those who are bhaktas, they understand that how Krishna is the ultimate whole. So one who understands, he should go to Krishna only directly. This is the shloka. Krishna is awarding the results to different people as per how they're approaching, and ultimately everyone is following his path. Okay. So just to summarize what we discussed, we began with this. We began with this shloka that Krishna is explaining about that how if somebody will understand about the transcendental nature of his activities, his birth, then he will not have to take birth again. So it's very important to understand it with faith and conviction, tatvatah. Then one will not have to take birth again. And how one has to become, who will not, what are the main obstacles for one to accept Krishna in Tatvata? These are the three main obstacles. Right? There's an obstacle of raga, that is attachment. There's an obstacle of bhaya. Now, it is a bhaya born out of personal special identity, and there's a krodha, that is a frustration or the anger born out of the frustration. So one has to become freed from this, and one has to do jnana tapasya. Then one can get a love for Krishna, and ultimately how, as one will approach to Krishna, Krishna will also reward him accordingly, and how everyone is ultimately following Krishna's path. I think we'll end here. Sorry for the delay. And next time we'll meet, then we'll continue further. So next weekend there's no class because we're going for a yatra. After that, when we'll meet, we'll continue further. Hare Krishna. So anyone has any question, we can discuss. Yes, Sandeep Prabhu.
Shunyavadi and Brahmavadi both knows about God. What are the major difference between them?
Shunyavad means this third category, which is Krodha. Shunyavad means void. Void matlab ki zero. Like Buddhist philosophy, Nirvana philosophy. So what is the difference? They think that there is no soul, there is no God, everything is simply material creation, and ultimately we are all the products of the material elements. And why we are having this existence? Because the material elements have come together. They have come together. Like even science says na, that how life is coming from the chemicals. So same way they think that we are able to, our existence is basically a material existence. And at the time of the death, we just again get submerged into the material elements. That is called the Shunyavad, the Buddhist philosophy. And Brahmavadi means impersonal philosophy, not Mayavad. Brahmavadi means those who desire to attain Brahman. Brahman means the Brahma Jyoti. So they desire, so say they believe that there is some supreme. They believe that there is Atma. They believe that we are not the products of this material world. They understand that this world is an illusion. They understand about all those things. They accept that there is some supreme Brahman. That's the difference. But here they think that there is no Brahman. Everything is this material world, this material elements, and that's all. Okay.
Shunyavadi don't know about the knowledge of God.
They don't accept, and they don't have a. It's a atheism only. Prabhupada says that the Shunyavad is basically atheism. Buddhism is basically atheism, because you see, there's no conception of God. We are all simply material products. That's what they believe. Shunyavad is no, it's completely atheism. And impersonalism is theism. They believe it is some supreme, but they just don't know the personal aspect of the Lord. Okay, Keshavdev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned two types of impersonalists. I don't understand.
Okay, see, impersonalists are people who don't accept the personal feature of the Lord, right? This is one thing. This is a broad definition. Who don't accept the personal feature of the Lord, or they accept that the supreme is impersonal. है ना? Now in this there are two categories. One thing is they are called as the Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis is what? They are the bona fide impersonalists. Bona fide impersonalists means as per the Shastras are telling. So what is, they understand that how ultimately everything is Supreme Brahman. Everything is a part of Supreme Brahman. That is the energy of Krishna. That is Brahma Jyoti. And the purpose of our life is to again merge into that Brahma Jyoti. This existence is all, this is all Maya. This material world is all, it is all Maya, and our purpose is to merge with the Supreme Brahman. This is called as the Brahmavadi. So their aspiration is the Brahma Jyoti. And second types of impersonalists are, they are basically Mayavadis. They're not exactly impersonalists also, but Papa says them as impersonalists only. Mayavadis, they also accept that everything is ultimately Supreme Brahman, and we are that Supreme Brahman. See, in this thing they are clear. But when it comes to Krishna, Rama, or the incarnations of the Lord, then they say that they are also material. Their activities are also material. देखिए जो ब्रह्मवादी है वो मानते हैं कि राम कृष्ण क्या है, ये सुप्रीम ब्रह्मन है, ये भगवान ही है, सुप्रीम है, ये सुप्रीम ब्रह्मन है, और इनकी जो लीलाएं विलाएं वो सब भी दिव्य है, वो सब ऑर्डिनरी नहीं है, मटल नहीं है। लेकिन जो मायावादी होते हैं वो क्या मानते हैं कि ये भी क्या है, हमारी तरह ही है, जैसे हमारी लीलाएं हमारे बर्थ है, वैसे ही राम कृष्ण ये सब भी मटेरियल है। और क्या बोलते हैं, we are also Ram Krishna. They don't differentiate between us and the Ram Krishna and our activities. So what happens is, because of which they become offenders to the Lord, because they're offending the Lord, they're thinking the Lord as an ordinary person. So that's why, because of this offense to the Lord, they don't land up to the Brahma Jyoti. They have to be into this metal world only. That's the difference. So they're the Mayavadis. Okay. ठीक है, anything else?
I've met a person who was following all the gods like Ram and Krishna, and still he was saying everything all merge into the Sunnah. And how this type of people?
Mostly these are, see, everything is hodgepodge now. There are many people, most of the people in India, they are following Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad philosophy means everything is coming, everything is one, everything is one. That is a Mayavad philosophy. तो ये सब मिक्सचर कुछ ने जिसने जहाँ से कोई कुछ सुना होता है, पढ़ा होता है, उसके हिसाब से वो चीजें बोलते हैं लोग. दैट्स द पॉइंट. ओके, और कुछ? ओके, आई थिंक थैंक यू सो मच. प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद. आगे वाले थोड़ा अगर आपके पास थोड़ा श्लोकाज एंड उसका ट्रांसलेशन अगर आप देख कर आएंगे तो थोड़ा और आसान से हम समझ पाएंगे चीजों को. हरे कृष्णा.